what's here and all that too. You know, I was going through things here this morning, and I'm a little copies of things here, everything that we talked about. Your statement. This is, remember we, 1266, I see, that's it. True and accurate, there, the statement here, that's pretty much what we,
yeah, one thing to say.
there's really not a lot here. We went to work, came back, and it's all Julie with the basic thing. So, just wanted to make sure, as I'm going through everything here, see if we can get this all cleared out. That's, if you want, read through it real quick, read through it, it's still true and accurate. Whip through that kind of quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty generic. I mean, not generic, but pretty straightforward. In fact, it's hard to believe it's only took 4 pages. I was also going through the police computer and all that. I noticed a lot of, tell me, was it Prowler thing or the photographs and all that?
Yeah.
I make copies of them, and I see some of them go back here quite a ways.
Back to
92. Okay, I see that. What was going on there? And I guess one reason why I asked that is it possible somebody was sneaking into the house or anything like that? Do you have, I remember when we were there, we talked about this before,
Yeah.
but I didn't see any sign of anybody coming in.
No.
Have you noticed anything or?
No. There was a point in time when she thought this guy was getting into the house. We'd come home and she'd see something moved on the table. Or something was misplaced. Minor things. And that's what got her going on. I never saw one of the doors being shaken or anything like that in the middle of the night. No, we called the police once in the middle of the night because they thought there was something back trying to get in. Turned out there were raccoons in the backyard that were messing around.
You're scared of the Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like the patio door opening and getting a stick. But, I mean, we never really saw anything in the house.
And then there were photographs being left. I mean, now, there's nothing that, since Julie passed on, before that, there's no indication that somebody snuck in there or anything like that, that would have done anything, or there was no indication of that previously. I mean, within the last couple months.
No,
No.
within the last year, I mean, all that kind of stuff. Approximately a year
A
ago.
year before.
Yeah.
She passed away December
December
2nd, 3rd, okay. So you haven't had any of that activity for, let's say, at least for 98, would that be a fair statement?
As far as I know.
Okay. Yeah. What was going on previous to that? So there was some photographs with her, having contact with a male penis or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading.
Right, and that goes all the way back to 91, when she saw the thought, you know, she ended up, she was working in Team Litter down in the woods. And it was one of the guys in the office there that had something going on.
A paint or?
Throat Trump.
Okay.
Okay,
What was his name? His name?
Perry.
Anyway, the first name was Perry.
Perry Teresa. And, you know, man found out because he told me about it.
Perry did.
Yeah, he called me at the office. He called me at the office and, you know, hang up and say a little shitty things. But he called in the evening, sitting and watching TV. The phone had rang, we got 3 or 4 hang-up calls. This has been going on for years. Right around the holidays, things like that, was only got to pick up. He sent her letters,
Do you have any of the letters left, or?
everything was given to the police.
Okay. Maybe that's it, because I got her book here, we'll look at David's stuff. I didn't see anything in there, a letter from him.
Okay.
You gave it to his letters to the police, or, well, to me, actually.
Right.
I don't recall any letters from him.
Okay. One was, I believe one was mailed to her brother, Paul and Joe.
Uh-huh.
And
This is back in 98.
yeah, I mean, it goes back so long. It was, you know, I mean, this is the whole series of
And the photographs?
photographs. They would be left around the house in the mailbox, on the back of the backyard, on the table, on my car at the office.
Uh-huh.
Things like that. You come on to work and you start out away from work. In the door.
What made it stop? Because I recall, I think we were on there, Officer Cosman, I know worked on the case a little bit. I see at one point they set up a phone trap and all that, and nothing happened. During that time, they had the phone trap up. Okay. From what I recall, or reading the reports, is that accurate from what you know? They were never able to prove who this person was.
Yeah.
Making the calls or leaving the photographs around. I see you spoke with the neighbors and all that. They didn't see anybody around the house leaving photographs or anything like that around. But you were convinced it was him or Julie?
As far as I know, I mean, I got to the point where a couple of years ago I kind of washed my hands of it. They hired a private detective. And he sat over by the office. It was so sporadic. It would happen howling, birthday, things like that. Something would set it off and you'd get it for a week or so, and then it stopped. And it was real hit or miss. We had, well, can't remember the guy's name, but she did all that. And they got to the point, it's kind of like my hands up 3 or 4 years ago, but you know, whatever, because he never did anything.
You never figured out who it was either.
So just harassment. And I just kind of, you know, washed my hands of it and get going with it.
How long did he sit on your car? A day, a week, an hour,
I think
month?
I can't even remember. It was a couple days. It was a couple $100 a day. So we did it for a couple days.
And you've had no contact since for about a year, now at least a year, but a year from this last December, there's been no pictures, phone calls, not anything.
Right.
Pretty much figured it was washed away.
Decided.
Okay. One other thing too, as you know, I got your computer, and what was real curious to me, this is a printout of what was all in the computer. Okay, quite a bit here. And I noticed a lot here on poisoning information. Now, from when I talked to you at the scene, December 3rd, was the date that Judy passed on, I remember you telling me that she didn't do anything at all with the computer. You pretty much did. And I just noticed a lot of stuff. You can thumb through it here if you like. But there's a lot of stuff here on the on different poisoning things, specific poisoning information. I think this here is what you printed out, which you gave me here, which is on the Paxil. Did you think at some point she was getting poisoned or something, or what's all this? Why do you know what any of this is? Well, come through it. There's a lot here. You didn't call up any of this stuff, specific poisoning information, and I see it's, again, I'm not sure I can pronounce some of that words.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch, not a whole bunch, but there's, did she operate? I'm just going by what you told me when we were at the scene. Am I wrong? You said that she never really messed with the computer at all, and that it was pretty much used it for work and
charting programs.
Different things with the with the type of business you're in. But you didn't call up any of that information at all on the poisoning issue?
Well, when she used it.
Yeah. Is there anything there that you?
The only thing I did on there was just the work stuff.
Work stuff, meaning?
Sure, stock chart and stuff.
Stock charts.
I have a quicken program on there, which is the financial program. Mm-hmm. She put all the information in there on there. Entered it all.
Did you guys have specific passwords to get in or anything like that?
Oh, no, it's played on there and everything else.
You just go and start with it. From there, you didn't have to put in a 1, 2, 3 for a password or anything like that.
No, I don't know.
And then most of the time when you were on the computer was in the evenings. Unless you're working during the day, during the week.
Yeah, it'd be 7 to 9, something like that.
Because I'm sure what I can do is take a relook at the program. You can see what times we were captured. Now, this is not everything that was on the computer. This was the ones that, showed specifically interested in a poisoning and the thing. Did Julie mention anything about poisoning or anything like that to you?
No, I know she'd go on there. That's how she. That night when we used it, was on the internet information.
Mm-hmm. And this here, which I think you used to probably do this. You showed me that,
right?
Because you were concerned.
And she knew right where to go for it.
Yeah. But this here's pretty much all of her stuff here.
Yeah. Well, medical encyclopedia. I don't know. She was into all of it.
Do you have an interest in medical?
She had
medicine or anything like that?
She had 3 years of nursing. Got that nursing school, I think it's 3 years. She still has all her own medical texts and a box out of the basement.
Now this here is what you gave me, and this was we got 12-2. This is what, in fact, I marked some of the things in here because you seemed to indicate to me that you thought that she would have died from some type of overdose or an allergic reaction to the Paxil and Abrium, I think it was, that she was prescribed.
Okay.
So, right, is that, and then you supplied me with,
Well, that's what we
here,
Yeah.
which makes, you know, as you under unsteadiness and all that. Because you mentioned, and again, I don't want to get the dates mixed up, but this was on the 2nd that you were concerned, you went over to Dr. Borman's, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened? Okay, she was not feeling well. You called Dr. Borman to begin with. She did.
Right.
Okay, what happened after that?
She saw him Tuesday.
Should have been what you say Tuesday, the first. Okay.
The night of the first, early morning of the second, was when we got this off the internet.
Right.
Or, yeah, there was a Wednesday morning I went and saw Foreman. I didn't call him, I just went over to the office with us. And so I saw him. Second.
And yeah, then he.
That's when
And then going off
prescription for the sleeping pill was Wednesday morning.
Right, that was
Ambien.
Right, okay. Okay, and then you also told you to go back, take half of this. She was taking 2 pills, or was it 1 pill?
It was 1 pill, and he told me, tell her to reduce the dose to a half.
Okay, so she took a half of this, and then she took, well, this 1 or 2 pills? This Abrium?
Right.
Ambien?
Ambien.
Right, okay. And then, basically, at that point, that's on the 2nd, right? Okay, and then she slept the 2nd, the night of the 2nd.
Right.
And then she was not feeling well. She was, what, the night of the 2nd, what was going on? Yeah, I recall you said she was like drunk or something
Right.
that night.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's Tuesday night, she woke me up in the middle of the night and said she felt drunk. Put her hands in her ears. That's when we pulled this up. Wednesday morning, when we saw Foreman, talked to him about the side effects. He gave me a prescription for Ambien, and said to walk and went home. We talked about what he had said. She took 1 of the pills on the Ambien and a half of a Paxil. And Wednesday night, yeah, she was sitting in bed talking to everybody and watching TV in the bedroom. Taking her sleeping pill. That night, slept through the night. Wednesday. Then Thursday morning, when she got up, that's when her breathing was funny enough for David was. So Thursday morning.
That's the 3rd.
Okay.
And you stayed home from work on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the morning.
In the morning.
Right.
Yeah. In the morning. Yeah, sometime in the morning, later morning.
And then you went to work, I think, around 12, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I got there around there.
And then you went to work, say noon, around, and off a little bit. Came back, picked up the kids at school, and then at daycare. and then came home and then found Julie and then dialed 911.
Right.
But you were under the impression at that time that you could have an allergic reaction to these two.
Well, it wasn't a question of an allergic reaction, it was a question of the side effects for the backfill. Well, at that point in time, it wasn't even a thought of the two. All this stuff came after the fact. Friends of the family and folks that were, my sisters were printing all this stuff out after the fact. But at the time, all we had was just this printout, so it was just something like,
You didn't have any of this stuff. You didn't have this
Yeah,
was
no,
on a
yeah.
computer or anything like that.
No.
I do notice some of these on here, they'll have your name on it. Emails
okay.
from, find one here. You probably saw it when you come through here. Here. And is there a date on these? 10 to 12, 98, okay. So, which is about a month before.
Yeah.
Who's Kelly? Now that's you emailing her, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Who's Kelly?
Actually, I think this was stuff off of, well, it was actually at Steve's home.
Who?
This is all work stuff that I was accessing.
Oh, well, I mean, you're over my head here.
There was, actually, she is my boss's secretary.
Oh, so she's in Racine now.
No, she is in St. Louis.
She a friend of yours? You
Yeah.
known her?
Well, since I've done that, and she was she's my boss's assistant.
And I guess what, this is all work related here? It didn't seem work related, Mark, to be honest with you. Can you think of a couple different, I'm trying to find some more here. So, here's some here. Like here's the Kelly, and this is back September 4th. Don't want to work, I just want to beat on my drums all day.
Yeah, my drums over there.
Let me. You got a set of drums?
Song, no, it's an old song.
Okay.
I just thought, the market being weird and stuff like that.
Okay, but these are emails that you sent to her, or she sent to you, not from Julie or anything like that. These are actual.
All right.
Okay, because when we were talking earlier, you said you didn't notice anything here. Maybe you skimmed over these here. Here's some other ones here. This is back September 4th, and all again like that. Those are all emails that you guys can confer back and forth on.
Yeah.
This one here is a repeat on it.
One thing gets slow, just get a ton of emails. They don't come all over the company.
How did this end up on your home computer? I guess that's where you're losing me. I don't understand.
I have probably a one-night access to that because.
You could have called up from your computer, you could have called up to Racine and then downloaded this to your computer?
It was actually out of St. Louis. You could get email out there. So they since changed the system and you can't get in there anymore. But there was a time when I could, if I was out in the afternoon, you need to check your email or something like that. You could do that from home.
Okay.
And that was, they shut down that part of the system because they had problems with it.
So actually you were at home then, like let's say here on, I can't see that, but you got September 4th, 1998 at 1:26 p.m. You were home and then you called up this work with me here, and these were the messages that you guys exchanged.
Yeah, it would have been something from when you email somebody and they email back, it kind of keeps it, you get like this long thing going, people responding to it. And,
You know, this one here, I'm sure on Friday, September 4th, don't want to work, I just want to beat on my drums all day, hope it doesn't come to that. I'm going to have to go home and try to fix my high maintenance woman. Now, this is a message from you to Kelly. If I, if I stopped and got Titanic on the way home, wonder if I could get her to sit next to me on the couch. Low expectations. Was Kelly a girlfriend of yours, or?
no, just a friend. She was, well, Scott McKay was a friend of mine. He loved beer.
But who?
Beer, Robert W. Beer.
Okay, that's it.
And he's why I went to Steeple. Kelly was his assistant. Scott knew what was going on because sometimes what was going on at home would get in the way of work and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
So, you know, Kelly also knew all about it. She was a friend. She had a sister who was depressed, so, you know, we had depression, and so we just had these conversations about how things were going.
And so she was just somebody you could talk to at work
Exactly.
and all that? And that you've been talking to her, how long have you been talking to her? Obviously when you were at Beard?
No, it was just,
Oh, she worked there, right?
Kelly did. She was,
Yeah, she worked there with you.
Scott did.
Okay,
Kelly was at Steeple.
okay, okay,
Okay.
all right. So since you went to Steeple, it was when you knew Kelly,
Right.
if not before?
Not before.
Okay, just since Steeple.
Right.
Okay, but she's in St. Louis though.
Yeah.
And you got emails, it doesn't say St. Louis on here, is what I'm getting to.
Okay.
I see it has Mark Jensen receipt, but it doesn't have Kelly. How do you say her last name, Levante?
Levante.
Okay, it doesn't have St. Louis on there. I assume maybe she was in your office up there, or a friend of somewhere, or, anyway, just in our
I was a friend
conversation.
because I got to know her because of positions. But even there are people in the office. David Aaron in the office, my sister very short. The last 3 months was pretty crazy stuff.
What do some of these emails mean? I mean, I just, the one that I read to you, fix my high maintenance woman, you remember sending that?
Not specifically.
Page 2.
I think that's just a reference to I remember getting Titanic. And she, you know, you couldn't get her to do anything, Julie. And then she was just no interest in it. Try to fix. The fix, I mean, that refers to conversations I was having with everybody.
You and Julie having troubles prior to her death?
Well, yeah, that you couldn't get her to do anything, and then she wasn't having any fun. Couldn't get her to go anywhere. Couldn't take vacation. She wasn't there to do anything. So it's like you couldn't. And that's why I was trying to get her to see more of it. There was something going on with her that you couldn't. She had no enjoyment of life at all.
Stay home for the most part?
Yeah. For the last 7 years. And, you know, the fix thing was, and you could talk to other people in the office, and you kept trying to prop her up and get her somewhere. And that's why you know, fix, and you couldn't fix what was going on with her, you know, that's what you did.
Yeah.
You want to take a vacation, discuss with the kids, and, you know, no. She just kind of kept taking further steps, and, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe this Kelly Levante was, Julie had an affair before, and I thought maybe you two would be having an affair if you're with Kelly. Or maybe you're seeing her now, Kelly, at all?
No, now they have.
Okay.
I mean, now they have.
So she's your girlfriend now, or at least somebody you're dating?
Friends
Would that be
are,
a fair statement, of dating, or what do you
I
think?
guess you could call it maybe a date, dating, but, not, she's a friend, we hang around together, but, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you say friend, was she a friend like that? She's a friend now,
No.
somebody that you date right now?
Right, now I would, back then, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, that was not. And, no, I understand where you're going, no, at that point in time.
So before Julie's death, you didn't have any type of, you had limited contact with her.
Right.
Now, since her death, what's transpired?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Went down to St. Louis a couple times, saw her, came up a couple times.
You guys are dating or seeing each other at this point?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but not beforehand.
No, I mean, the times we got back at see her would be just business functions when I'd around St. Louis for a meeting, like in November.
Did you call Julie from St. Louis the one time you were telling me? And that you couldn't get a hold of her or something like that?
This is how all this opens up with other people because they'd be somewhere on business meeting trying to get Julie. And I'd be late to the meeting next morning to go to the that night. So on, and you start talking to people about it, but what happened last night. It's a sport group,
Yeah.
I mean, friends in the office and things like that.
So you knew Kelly beforehand, and then since Julie's death, you guys have dated and gone out. That's a fair statement?
First, yeah, I guess fair statement, maybe, well, like the kids, maybe kind of do every day, and sometimes you guys will start dating. Because we really haven't gone out, It's more just hang around, the kids are there.
So you're trying to, I guess, I'm trying to, Mark, trying to hit the nail on the head here. What type of, you guys are dating as a man and a woman would, maybe kissing or having sex? I don't want to pry big heavy here, but are you having to that extent, or is it just, hey, we're stopping at a bar and having a drink?
Type thing about me at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
The big question of the word. So
you guys aren't necessarily lovers, but,
No.
and I'll be honest with you, I find that just a little hard to believe. If you go stay overnight in St. Louis with her and you're dating her, I'm assuming she's single, I don't know. I'm assuming that or divorced or something like that. It would be hard to believe if you've seen her as often as you said you were, that there isn't something a little bit more.
Okay.
You're sleeping together. I think that would be a reasonable assumption.
Right.
I
understand.
I would be, I'll be honest, and I don't know, maybe you are, or maybe you're not.
Okay, I'll be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Prior to everything, prior to January, we had none of this as friends. Good friends. I mean, more of an acquaintance. I maybe saw her 3 or 4 times during that period of time. When we were friends during last year.
You mean 98?
98, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah. And went down there in April, the office opened in June, that one opened somewhere in October. But every couple months. Well, it was mostly on the phone when I was talking to.
Before December.
Right, exactly.
And you met with her 3 times?
I had seen her 3 times because the office opened, but we were never alone because there was always business situations.
After Julia's death, that's
sometime.
turned into more of a serious relationship then. Would that be a fair statement?
I guess so. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to do is quantify serious.
Yeah.
I'm 40, got 2 kids. She's like 31.
No kids?
No kids. I think I'm done. Where's she going? I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
But your relationship's a lot more serious than it was before December.
Exactly.
And I would assume that you're spending the night down there with her, and she's coming up here and spending the night with you, here in Kenosha or Pleasant Prairie, whatever. So you have an emotional, if not a sexual, you have a sexual relationship with her then.
Yeah.
That would be their statement.
Yeah.
Or true statement, I should say.
We had all their steps then.
Okay.
But there was nothing like that
Prior to. How long did you know her before that?
April.
Is that when you moved, switched companies?
Correct. Exactly. And again, I mean, talk to, the one that stands out here because it's on here is Kelly, but there were others too. Not others from the standpoint of, well, he had emails and banners going back because
I didn't see any other ones there. I don't want to speak here, but
okay.
Are there some other ones that you communicated with?
It'd be like Dawn Cooper, Crystal Nance. I mean, yeah, but they're all.
But they're not.
Yeah, you get a little.
So obviously you and Kelly had a little bit more back here than the other women that you communicated with, because I don't see any of them on here. No, this one here, feel free. 10/12/98. I don't see, I looked through all the computer, and Kelly's the only ones that you downloaded here.
Okay.
I don't see the other girls that you mentioned. Who were they again?
Crystal Nance, Dawn Cooper.
Okay. I haven't, again, we're more than free to look here.
Okay.
But I haven't, because I've been through this at least once, and those were the only ones that I saw.
It'd be the same kind of stuff. I mean, just be, it's nothing, it didn't reference specific work issues with the office.
And these weren't work issues here.
Right.
These were more kind of,
a little banter going back and forth about.
Right, some trivia that you haven't marked here, trivia questions and all that stuff that comes back on here.
Yeah, we're going to come in emails, exactly. Yeah. Use these little emails that just are fun.
And this is more social than it is.
Exactly. That's all it is. You get a
professional
from person to person with jokes of the day and things like that. And they get passed around the company. And
one thing too I wanted to cover, and I forgot to mention it too before, was when I went, these are all the reports that since '92, and I noticed in Julie's diary here too, she was keeping notes on what was going on. Right, and all that stuff. And Officer Cosman primarily investigated this. I investigated it probably about 2 years ago, where I made contact with Perry.
Okay.
And because Julie was consistently complaining. And we eliminated Perry completely as doing any of that stuff at your home.
Okay.
What also Officer Cosman did.
I remember mentioning that.
In fact, he was out in New York at the time.
Okay.
She said you had some photos of Pierre at your house. And what Officer Cosman also did was, I'm trying to find the handwriting thing here, Andy. Julie took some samples of your handwriting, and together with the notes, and Officer Cosman submitted them to the state crime lab. And they were under the opinion that with your handwriting on photographs, that was found around the house. And if you recall, we had a lot of communication with Julie, and then Julie told us at that point, she said, what can I do to find out what's going on here? And I said, Julie, I got involved because Ron's a patrolman, and it got a little bit more involved, and he has road duties to take care of and so forth and so on. So he turned the matter over to me. I contacted Perry, and he was kind of upset one that I made contact with him. He says, my God, he says, I wish that would have never happened with Julie. It's just been a headache for me. That's long, that's overgrown. He gave me an itinerary where he was. And I verified that. I called his boss. I called out to New York. He was at New York at the time when some of them photos were taken. And then we met with Julie. I met with her, Officer Cosman did. And we said, hey, Mark, we think might be doing this. And she wouldn't believe it. And I said, well, there's one way we can find out for sure. What you need to do is get some handwriting samples of Mark. And she did. She got some of your notes around the house and all that stuff. Gave them to Officer Cosman. Officer Cosman ran them up to the crime lab. And the crime lab came back and said it was your handwriting on the photographs. And if you recall, at that point, we kind of ended the investigation because we told Julie that, Julie, if you want to proceed with it, it's between you and Mark. So if there's something we can do to help, let us know. And she said, no, I guess maybe it is Mark leaving around. And she explained to me, I talked to her at length. And she explained that you guys are having problems. And this is going back, she hasn't marked here in her diary, but I think it's probably 94, 95, somewhere around there. And she said, no, I think Mark's really upset because of the affair that he had with me, or with Perry. I had the affair, Mark didn't like that. We had sexual contact. Me and Mark have been having trouble with sexual contact. He wants me to do certain things that I won't, but he thinks I did them with Perry. And she never did tell me if she did. I didn't want to push it. I wanted you guys to work this all out.
Yeah.
And why did you leave the photographs around that? Were you mad at her at that time? And I can understand that. I mean, you found out she was having this affair with this guy. Pissed you off. With me too. She was running around. And she pretty much assumed that. I know we know that from the evidence from the crime lab. It was the handwriting. Because then, if you recall, that all ended right there. We said, Julie, if you want to press some type of charges, I'm not sure what kind of charges you can press. There's no real violation of the law here. And then at that point, it just kind of fizzled away, as I recall. Well, then that's what basically happened. So you were the one that was leaving the photographs around the house. That was sure. So, and I figured it was always because you were mad. You were mad at Julie, and maybe you guys had some sexual issues or something. I don't know. At that time, was your marriage doing well, or were you guys getting along? I mean, that had to put pressure on your marriage.
It was up and down when they were married, yeah. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
It was never bad, but she, you know what I mean? There was always a friction. There was like, when we were working on the same page. That page, from that point on. I remember her saying something about that you guys thought I was making phone calls and taking the pictures.
Oh, the other thing too
we'd be sitting there in the evening and the phone would ring. And it'd be the hang-up calls. And somebody would say something to her. I mean, so how could that be me? I got the sense of that at one point. She told me that you guys thought it was me.
Well, the other odd part of it too was we ran that trap for 2 weeks, and we came up with nothing. We came up with one phone call, which appeared to be a wrong number. Now, I know I get phone calls all the time at home. They'll call, and it's usually these telemarketer deals, and sometimes there won't be anybody there because they have a machine doing the dialing. So that's part of life with a phone company. Now, I'm not, we didn't go that far because there was nothing criminal at this time. We're a police department. We don't want to spend our wheels, and we suggested to Julie that maybe some mediation or some counseling. Did you guys ever get any or anything like that? I don't know. No. And we pretty much ended it there. Now, the phone I'm not that sure of, but I know the photographs and all that stuff, that's what the crime lab came back with, and that's why we pretty much, if you recall, we pretty much ducked out of that at that point, and then things just seemed to diminish. We never heard from you anymore, so we figured you guys worked things out. I mean, if you were leaving the photos, well, I mean, it's not, she's passed away, and it's no big deal at this point. It's just, that was my opinion at the time, is that, because I was going on that crime lab, but you're telling me you weren't, the crime lab's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even recall any of the photos that I saw. I mean, right now.
Or some that he had writing on them. She brought them in, and there was some, not any great detail or anything like that, but there were some that had some writing on them. She brought them in. I mean, I'm not making it up. She brought them to us, and the crime lab pretty much came back and said it was your handwriting on there. And that's why, if you recall, that's why the whole matter just seemed to drop. If you recall back, it just kind of dropped because we said, hey, and I'm convinced sitting here today that you were the one that was in fact leaving the photographs around, and, because you were always finding them. Julie, I don't think ever found any, did she?
Yeah.
Very few, if she did. But you found a majority of them, so I was always, as was Officer Cosman, under the opinion that you were pissed off, you guys had some issues, and you were leaving the photographs around the house, trying to entice her maybe, or trying to get her, hey, we need to get some help here, trying to open up some dialogue or something like that. And as far as I was concerned at that point, you guys, saw some counseling, got together, and got back on with your life. But you're telling me you never left them photographs around, saying the crime lab,
Well,
the crime lab's wrong, I think what you're saying to me.
in terms of me doing all the photos, yes.
Guess what?
Yeah, I mean, if they're wrong, and I was leaving the photos out there.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't me. I might have, and I don't recall, the only way if it was writing on it, maybe I embellished it at one point. But, you know, I can't specifically recall writing anything on them, but I think I can on one occasion, but I think I recall what it was. Yeah, it was right.
The photo that you wrote on then, is that the one you gave to Julie? And then
Might have, you know, usually it was a bunch of them at one time.
what did you write on the photo?
Oh, I can't recall. I just remember
But
doing something like that or something like that.
did you tell Julie you wrote on the photo?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I did 3, 4, 5 of them, and that's correct.
Yeah. So what you basically
But I
saying?
think that was way, way back in like the very beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was.
Well, this is kind of, if I recall, and again, I can mud through the reports here, but I recall that it was kind of about midway, because this was going on for a little while, and we pretty much, and I said to Julie, you know, basically, shit or get off the lot.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be happy to look into this for you.
Possible.
We don't want somebody prowling around your house and all this and that. And the areas that they got into the house, at least according to Julie, you guys could not figure out how this person got in there.
Right.
And we absolutely ruled out Perry.
Okay.
Perry did not do it. There was nobody else that would have a motive to do that, with the exception of you, okay? Because you were pissed off about the affair, so forth and so on. So, I mean, we have all this, and for you to sit here today and tell me it wasn't me, I find very hard to believe, Mark, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I do. And it really doesn't matter if you did or not. I mean, Julie's passed on. It's not a big issue. But when I go back and I look through some of this stuff, and I see all what's happening here, and, you know, I've been real nice to you. I treated you, and I felt sorry for you, and you got a couple kids and all that stuff. And I'm just trying to wade through this because I just want to make clear in my mind what all occurred here, because later on when I have somebody else ask me, I mean, I'm the police detective assigned to this case. I mean, I can't sit here and say, no, I don't know, right? Okay? And then for you to come in here and basically lie to me, saying that you didn't leave around the photos when we know for sure it was your handwriting, which you admitted to, which was handwriting on your photograph, and it wasn't Perry. I don't know who else would have any type of motive to do that. You obviously are well-educated, well-versed, and you can use a computer, and the pictures appear to be at the crime lab, but they were somehow, and this is over my head too a little bit, is superimposed on there. And so I don't know who else would have left them photos around besides you. And does it matter here? No, I guess what matters a little bit to me, and I feel a little hurt here, is that, you know, I'm trying to help you out here, and, you know, trying to look through this with you, let you know what's going on, what we have here, and you're not being 100% with me.
No, I'm trying to.
You know, I just want you to cooperate with me so we can get down to the bottom. Now, you left the photos around there, right? Am I right on that? Can you give me that? Did you leave some of them there?
There were times when I get stuff in the mail. I wouldn't give it to her initially because it would cause a great deal of upset, and that wasn't helping us. Um, there were times I just threw them away when I got them, but I mean, in terms of having the photos, yeah,
Did you leave them around? Did you leave them around the house?
No, no, I did not. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, but there were times when I would just throw them away, when I would take them someplace like in the garage for a while, and then bring them out, so she knew what was going on.
I guess, so that I'm clear here, I don't understand.
In terms of,
You would get a photograph in the mail with her in it, showing her with a man's penis.
yeah, and that was the stuff that was very early on. I got that in the mail at the office,
Okay,
in the mail.
okay,
And I remember one of the girls, this was way, way back,
yeah.
coming in with an envelope full of pictures, my secretary going, you know. Don't even want to know what that was all about.
And then with Julie's picture on it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do with the photograph from work?
That was all very early on, and that was given to her. And I gave it to Julie. At one point, there was a whole garbage bag of stuff that had been accumulated. She had found stuff around the house, too.
But the photograph,
In terms of me, I don't know, I mean, I didn't have the pictures to do anything with. I mean, they'd be there, she found them. She did find them. They were left around the house. I thought that she would find them in the shed, things like that.
and you put them there in the shed for her to find?
No, I would give them to her. I never put them around the house for her to find them. If I got them in the mail, I mean, I know I didn't give her everything right away. Some of it I just threw away. I understand what you're saying. I might have if I got to it. This was over a period of, what, 92 to 5 years. In there.
I guess and again, when I'm talking to you here, it seems like you're all skirting the outsides here, okay? I can't get a kind of a straight answer from you, Mr. Mark, okay? And that's why I end up having 100 more questions.
I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to nail the hammer on the head here of the nail, okay? I'm trying to get right to the point here. You're telling me in a roundabout way that you get these photographs with Julie sucking a man's penis at work, okay? You would bring that photograph home and leave it around for her to find, or you would show it to her. Now, before you said you would leave it around for her to find, so you were leaving some of the photographs around the house. I mean, you just told me earlier.
Yeah.
Now you're saying to me you did.
I'm sorry, it's also a pleasure. And over 5 years of time.
I know, I understand that, but, I mean, I just kind of want to get through this, Mark, and I'll be honest with you, we can get through this, because it's a curiosity, I guess, I got to satisfy in my own mind, because anybody who looks through here, see, this is all of them here. I mean, we got, 96, 93, all of us from here. Julie and Mark Jensen, Perry, here's that one, back in 93. And I was always under the opinion that you were leaving the photographs around the house. Was always under that opinion, okay? The crime lab says this. The only one that seemed not to believe it was Julie. She's now passed on. I understand, and I sit here today and I'm saying to myself, why would Mark lie to me about this when it really, number one, doesn't matter? And number two,
Okay.
you left the pictures around the house. I mean, there's no question about that in my mind. And you come into it saying, well, yeah, I did some, but I didn't do all of them, and all that. Let's hit the nail on the head here and move on. Let's put this issue down. It's not like you did anything wrong, okay? It's just
I understand, but
some record things that we got to keep track of here. So tell me straight, Mark.
I don't know where the pictures came from. it wasn't in the mailbox. I'm sure at times, there were times when I did something with the pictures I may have written on. We're talking about a 5-year period of time against the very Robert. There were times they threw them away. There were times that there was a time I put them in the shed. I was sticking them back in the shed. I seem to recall something like that. Specifically doing that. I can't remember it. It's that. There's time that me and embellished the pictures, writing on there, or something like that.
So for the most part, you left the photos around the house for her to find or for you to find when you in fact got it at work, but you said you found it in the work shed?
Exactly.
Okay.
I did a stack of them. I accumulated them. It was very upsetting to her. When we never came to the forefront, our relationship suffered for it.
So I recall at one point you were telling her that, well, this is you and Perry doing it, when in fact you didn't know that for sure, that it was just.
It was a picture that I got, and they could have been anyway.
How all the pictures that you had there that you left around the house, how many did you leave around the house? There were quite a few pictures that you left.
There were, I can't even begin to quantify.
I know, more than 10, less than 10? I think it's probably more than 10.
Oh, it's definitely more than 10.
Yeah.
So it's definitely. Now, but again, when I would do that, it'd be, I'd get this stuff, and we're trying to hang on to it from an evidence standpoint. I mean,
well, she turned the majority of them over to Officer Cosman.
right, right.
And at that point, reading through these reports, it was that you guys suspected Perry did it, but in fact you were doing it. That was pretty much along the lines of our suspicion. And I find it hard to believe that I'm sitting here today talking about it. And again, we're talking 5, 6 years ago, that you left the majority of them pictures around the house. One, you said you found them, when in fact you really didn't. You had them for work or wherever.
Or on the truck or whatever. Or I'd find them around the house, because I did.
Okay.
I mean, I did find them around the house, but it was a question of showing them to her. I mean,
and you ended up showing the majority of them to her.
exactly.
Although they.
Go
ahead, please.
How many times do you have to see pictures like that and get reminded of it before they just kind of it's not worth it. It's old, put it away. I put them away, and then something would happen, and I get pissed off, and I pull them out and say that I found it in the shed.
When in fact you had.
I had, they accumulate them for weeks.
Now, why would somebody send that to you in the mail? I don't understand that. I mean, we cleared Perry of doing it. Okay, we might have talked to him and all that. Now, if they were sent to you at work, there would have to be a mailing. I mean, this is the first, reading through these reports, this is a little bit different than what the police reports have to say here, is pretty much the police reports say that you found the photos all over the house when we know now that you didn't. If they mailed them to your office, who was mailing to them? There has to be a return mail on there. I mean, if we would have known it at the time, we could have, right, postmark. We could have done a lot more with it at that time, but you didn't tell us about that. Am I right, or did I miss something?
No, the ones were mailed to the office early on in the first year or two. And that was when I was at probation in Milwaukee. That was when I got stuff in the mail. That, it's all that was the time frame that was. But I thought there was stuff left around the house. I mean,
so somebody, you're saying that some of the stuff you left? Go ahead, please.
Some of the stuff I would accumulate. And then I say I found it in the shed. It could be a way of giving it to her without saying I've been hanging on to this stuff. Basically. And, I mean, but in terms of, I was not coming up with stuff. Yeah. He just called the same traffic, the phone calls. I know Julie told me that at one point. Everyone thought I was making a phone call. And you have to be sitting on the couch in the living room together. And the phone would ring. I mean, you couldn't possibly, I'm sitting there with her, so she knew it wasn't me. There's times with the pictures, I know.
So you misled her, which in turn misled the police.
Yeah, I mean, it was not in a malicious standpoint, it was...
You were pissed off
I
at
was
her.
pissed off at her.
And you were pissed off about that relationship which she had with Perry.
Right.
Her statement.
Because our relationship was never really quite, well, she was never quite. And she changed after that point, and I don't know.
Mark, just, as we're going through this, just be straight with me.
I'm trying to be, but it's not all black and white.
I understand that, but, say, yeah, hey, Bradford, I was pissed off, and like I said, I could understand that. I mean, that's not that, and does it matter at this point? No. You left some pictures around there, you misled Julie at the time, you misled the police, but I can understand some of your motives there. You guys were having some marital problems, and I knew we were right on target because some of the handwriting and all that stuff, they were able to tell rather conclusively. And when we talked to Perry, we absolutely cleared it. The guy was in New York City when some of this stuff, he got a job in New York City, and that's where he was. And for him to fly into O'Hare or Mitchell, drive a car here, leave a photograph in your shed, go all the way back, it was next to impossible. It cost them thousands of dollars to do. So I still am under the opinion, and I don't want to beat this here to death today, Mark, but that you probably made some of the photographs too, with the computer at work or at home. I'm not sure on the details, but if you were leaving them around the house like you were, you probably also created some of them. And I can understand why you would have done that with the situation yourself and Julie were in. I mean, Julie was unfaithful to you. I mean, you had a little, I would have been mad. You had a little bit of an axe to grind, and I think you guys were trying to make an effort to get together, but, she was, as you said, was pissing you off, and she was cheating on you. And so I think you made the photographs, and I think you left the majority of them around. Now, the phone calls I don't know about or anything like that, but, you say some of the photographs you did, some you didn't. Now, we started off with none of them, and then we went to some of them.
No, what I'm talking about is, I remember the photos, some of them were photos, actual photographs. Most of them were like a pure, it looked like it was a printout or something.
Well, you scan them in and you bring them up on there and you can superimpose the photos. You know more about it than I do. We can probably wind this up and that I'm under the impression that you did make them, well, you can't be truthful with me. I'm not sure why. Explain to me. You didn't make them.
I did not make them. I received them. I mean, I did. This is the reason, and that's the way I thought about the whole thing. But I got actual photographs.
Okay, in the mail.
Yeah.
But to find out who would have done that, the way to do that would have been with the police department saying, hey, I got sent to, let me do something with a postmark, we can watch some of the stuff, we can trace some of that stuff. If you notice in some of your letters you get, there's barcodes on there. There's all kinds of ways of tracking some of that stuff through the mail now. And, rather than kind of send us on this wild goose chase.
Yeah.
So the handwriting on the back of the photos or in the front, I can't recall which, was your handwriting. There's no question about that. That would be accurate.
And I seem to recall,
Right,
longer, yeah.
And then you left it there for Julie to find, or you said you found it, one of the two.
Right.
So anyway, just to kind of wind this down here, and I've said this way too many times, some of the photographs you kind of made up and left around, or Julie to find, or you said you found them, but in fact you didn't, they were sent to you by somebody else. No idea who sent them to you. You think this Barry sent them to you?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. I mean,
keep in mind, you said the postmark brought out of Chicago and he was in New York.
But from what Julie told me, his daughter, he's the worst, so, I don't
I believe
know.
you're right. They're very nasty. I think they would have communicated, to be honest with you, because they were also aware of her and Julie's relationship also. You know, part two, on his side of the family. You know, I had a lengthy talk with her, lengthy talk with him, rather.
Okay.
You know, that he was at New York all the time, so I don't know how he could have sent them and would have had a Chicago post office. No, I don't know. And again, at the time, if you would have been truthful with us, we could have told her. Said, hey, Mark is, you know, this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, you know, some of the stuff you're telling me now just doesn't all, it's going a big puzzle here, and it's not all fitting together, and that's why I think maybe you're trying to deceive me here, and I don't understand why. And like I said, I'm kind of hurt by it, because I mean, I know what the facts are, and that the facts aren't fitting, and we both agree with the puzzle.
So, if Julie told me at one point, I can't remember what, that there was he had custody of his daughter like every other weekend, and he was back in Chicago for that.
So
I don't know how.
Yeah,
I don't
you know, I still have,
trying to,
from looking here at the evidence, I mean, we started out that she absolutely didn't do any photographs. You know, that somebody left them around there, or that you did some of them, that you wrote on some of them, you left some of them. You know,
it's a question of what you look at. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I'm not trying to, but I haven't thought about a lot of this for a long time. It starts to come back. Did I use them with one of the pictures, like right on it?
I'm
sure I did, yeah.
And I tried to remember, I understand it, but, you know, we don't want to beat this to death all day either.
If you have a stack of pictures like this, that I get in the truck or I get in the mail and I save them up because I don't want to give them to Julie because it would just cause so much upset to play around house with the kids or anything else back to it. And at one point you get pissed off, you say, I found all this in the shed. I mean, that's where I'm coming from. Did I print it out? No. Did I have it? Did I accumulate? Sometimes I come home and just give it to them and there go to eat it. So,
I was thinking maybe you were trying to excite her. Pictures excite people. You know, that's why they sell magazines. People don't buy them because they're depressing. People buy X-rated videos, magazines. They don't buy them because they're depressing. It's because it creates some excitement. And people react to it in different manners. I think females react to it differently than males. In some cases, we're all different. We're all different human beings. But a lot of people find them to be excitable and amusing. It's not that big of a deal, I guess, is what I'm saying. I'm sorry that you misled us here during this time, because obviously what Julie thought was going on at the time, I think I was pretty much on base with it, that you were part of it, and we now know that you are. And you know, I don't want to beat this to the ground here today, but I still am under the impression you're not being 100% with me here. And I guess I don't know why.
I'm trying to think. I mean, do you think that I have the pictures of them? And just put them on a copy machine constantly? Because, you know,
I don't know. You know more about it than I do. You were.
I mean,
I only can go by with what I read here.
Oh, I can tell you, I did not do that. I mean, I was not taking the pictures, jotting them, printing them, whatever, and dribbling them around for 5 years. I mean, that was.
But you were dribbling some of them out.
It'd be over a period of what I'm talking about from that standpoint. It was accumulating for maybe a period of weeks, a month, maybe 2 months. And you'd end up with a little pile of them. And we were trying to keep the stuff from an evidence standpoint. Otherwise, I had no reason to keep it. It was just kind of throwing the garbage. But yeah, I get pissed off, and then I say, I mean, I'm not trying to mislead you, but it was a question of, I received this stuff. I accumulated it.
I see your report goes on, you know, she's got notes here. Are you aware that she got this here, this diary or whatever?
Yeah.
She kept track of everything and all that.
Phone calls and everything.
Yeah, quite a bit here.
Right. So, I don't understand
Now, as far as,
I think she has some fun with it, though, honestly. I mean, as much as she's like, she likes the upset, she likes the upset of it. It's, you know, that's why I don't wash my hands. You know, 3-4 years ago, I was a detective and that, I remember Ron he was over at the house in the kitchen. And I got home from work, and I was at the end of you're going to start conversation about this. He made a comment that was, I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean it that way, but it was like when you wipe the stone in front of me. All the guys should know it. It's not a conversation I want to have. You know? And at that point, it's kind of like, whatever you have to do to deal with it, deal with it. But, you know, I got so tired of it.
that's fine. I mean, oh, what I wanted to touch base on here too was the autopsy report. I got that. Did you talk to who are the people you talked to at the medical examiner's office? Dr. Lavin, I think you spoke to.
Well, I've never talked to Lavin, but she's been recalled when she was there.
Okay. Dr. Chambliss has come out with the opinion that Julie was asphyxiated. Okay? That she was basically murdered. Julie was. There's a couple of things to show that. In fact, I got this is his report right here. And the one thing, you know, here we got, there's some injury here. Let me get back through here. You know, there's on her throat, on the right-hand side, there's a fingernail present right arm interior neck. Oh, you read that pretty much for yourself there. And if you recall, when Julie was found, she was found in the pillow with her nose kind of, you know, she was in on her side. And if you look at the photographs, her nose is twisted up here, okay? And Dr. Chambliss did an autopsy. He notices an indication of a bruise, or as he puts it, as I just showed you, a fingernail, let me back up here, curved yellow abrasion resembling a fingernail is present in the right interior neck in the area of the thyroid, I can't pronounce this other word, C-A-R-T-I-L-A-G, of the larynx, which is about right here, okay? So he's come to the conclusion that it's an asphyxia death, okay? Which means that basically somebody cut off her oxygen or choked her, okay? And obviously one of the people that were there were you at the scene there, Mark. And did you guys have a fight, or did you smother her, Mark, or what's going on? No, you didn't touch her? No. At that point? No. Okay. Because he's under the impression that, well, not under the impression, the conclusion that she was suffocated. Now, we ruled out everything that somebody broke in. We pretty much ruled that out. We investigated that when we were there. We checked. We ruled out, we know it wasn't Perry, okay? We know you were there. You were there at approximately 12 noon, 1 o'clock, and you left to go to work, which is when we've determined that she died between 12 and 4 o'clock, right? You mean like nobody choked her? Choked her, or put a pillow over her face and smothered her. And I don't want to pull out the pictures to show you or anything like that, but if you look at the pictures that we took at the scene, you can see where her nose was pushed into the pillow and curved up like that. You also see that her arm is, did you touch the body after you fell? Okay, what did you touch?
I grabbed her by the shoulder. I tried to shake her.
Okay. You didn't move the body in any way, did you?
I kind of rolled her. I remember her nose coming off the pillow.
Yeah.
And it didn't go back. I mean,
right.
It was
crooked. It's like it broke.
Right. Face was in the pillow.
Right.
But that's how she was laying. I mean, it was.
You told me at the scene you didn't touch her, because I asked you that. I said, did you move the body in any way? And you said no. And then, of course, I checked with the paramedics, and they said no, too.
I mean, in terms of moving, I know, but I did, grab her and...
You just grabbed her and just shaked her. You didn't roll her over.
No,
Okay, I thought before you were telling me you like rolled her, took her by her shoulders and shook her.
no, I didn't have her up.
Okay,
I did not have her up.
okay.
I mean, she was laying there.
Well, how did you grab her like this? Or did you twist her out?
No, she was laying there on one side.
Uh-huh.
One side.
Okay, why don't you do it that way? Let me, and how did you move her? This would be the pillow.
Right, the pillow was here.
Right,
Her
okay.
nose was like that.
Okay.
I grabbed her shoulder and rolled her.
Okay, like this, and then her nose would have came up to her face.
Right.
Okay. And then what'd you do at that point? Now she's kind of facing up, let's go like that. Did you pull her back then, or did you leave her, or
She just kind of rolled back.
she just rolled back? Okay.
She just kind of, yeah, rolled back.
And then what happened?
I think it was a phone call, 911.
Okay. And then the rescue squad and the police and all that came back.
Exactly. But her face was, she looked unmoved from where she was late morning when I left.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Let me get back here to something else, Mark. And I need you to be 100% truthful with me. This thought's crossed my mind. There's also a bruise on her buttocks, on the top half. Okay, and one theory that's come out on this is, and I'd be embarrassed to say this, I really would, okay? I mean, just let me think out loud to you here, okay? You know, the medical examiner has ruled that it's an asphyxia death, that Julie was somehow her oxygen was cut off, okay? You were the only person that we know of that was in the house. So the only person that could have caused her death would have been you, okay? Now, I'm thinking, I don't think you have a real motive to just go ahead and kill Julie or anything like that. One, we've talked quite a bit back and forth, and I don't think now again, maybe something went haywire or something like that. We'll get to that in a minute. But what I find odd is there's a bruise on her butt, and she's pushed into the pillow. Now, have you ever heard of erotic death or autoerotic death? Something like that. As an example, that would be you guys were playing around sexually. Okay, it happens all the time. We've had deaths like that. I mean, I've been to death school that's thoroughly examined where, and you mentioned that Julie was kind of in a drunk state, and she was being a little bit drunk and a little tipsy, and maybe you guys got to playing around a little bit, and things got out a little hand. I'd be afraid to say this to the police. I'd be, you've been kind of bashful about telling me some of this other sexual stuff, so I can understand why you're a little bashful. Sergeant Ransford, I'll tell you what happened. I was home for the day at work. We were playing around a little bit. We got carried away. Nothing like that occurred. You're sure? Okay. Then how do we explain her death? You're the only one there. You were the only one there, and you leave, she's alive. You come back, she's passed away.
that's what I don't understand.
Mark, there's no, you had to do something. Read this. This is the one your wife left me and Officer Ron Cosman. It's her handwriting, right? Right? I mean, there's nobody else's handwriting there. Now, who else is there, Mark? I mean, here we got Julie Jensen. You guys weren't, that's why I keep coming back here to the sexual thing, maybe. That something was taking place there. But here we got, you leave at noon, she's alive. 4:30, she's dead. You are the only person there, okay? We've gone through that. You found nothing disturbed in the house. Her head pushed into the pillow. There's a bruise on her buttocks. Okay? I was thinking, maybe you guys were playing around to that, or maybe you guys had a violent argument. I don't know. I wasn't there. But there's something, you had to do something. Okay? You had to, Mark. I mean, she just didn't die naturally. We've done all the testing. It's all come back negative. The toxicology is a 0. Dr. Chambliss, right here, list of injuries that are on there. The bruises I was talking about with the with the shin. And, here's the evidence. There's also petechia in her lungs, which indicates suffocation. You get petechia when somebody's suffocated. There's 2 places you get petechia. One is in the eye and in the lungs, especially if there's pressure. Now, I'm not a doctor, not an expert on it, but you had to do something to cause her death, Mark. You're the only person that was there, and you're the only person that could have done anything. Well, how can I explain this to somebody else? We have, here we got, then Julie leaves us a letter, which I believe is somewhere a week before, and, I'm not making this up, this is true evidence. And here we have Julie Jensen telling me that if she dies, you're the person that did it. Okay? We have a rocky marriage, and I'm not sure whether to believe you here or not, because you kind of misled me here on some of this other stuff. You talk a lot and you don't say anything, and I wish you did come out. Now, if something happened with Julie the day of the 3rd, I'm willing to work with you here. I mean, I've taken very patient and very calm here with you, with your family, your case, and all that stuff. And we need to come up with some type of explanation here, and you're the only one that can provide that explanation. Did you guys have an argument? Were you guys playing around? I don't know what happened.
She couldn't get out of bed that morning. I mean, I need to have it come to that, the anesthesia. About Mom's condition that morning. She couldn't get out of bed. She wanted to stay home because Mom was sick. We did nothing. There was no sexual thing going on. There was nothing happening. She was in bed asleep.
Did you get mad at her or something? Were you pissed off? I mean, you got mad at her before and you used the photographs around the house. I mean, did you get mad this time and, Julie, damn it, wake up or something?
Well, the photographs I'm talking about is we had a little argument about something and I bring out the pictures that had been accumulated. But if that makes any sense. I'm not trying to beat around the bush there, but it was, over time, over a 9-year period of time, a lot of different things happening now.
Well, let's get back here to Julie. I mean, here, we'll look at where you're sitting from my position here, Mark. Okay? One, we have a marriage that was not good. Okay? That was not good. I talked to some of Julie's friends, and they said she was divorced was mentioned, some of this other stuff. You guys were not having a good marriage. Okay? She contacts us a couple days before about this letter, and contacts Officer Cosman. We have the photographs, and she leaves us this letter. Okay? Then all of a sudden, boom, she turns up dead. Okay? You're the only one. There's no dispute about that. You're the only one there. You had to do something. I have Dr. Chambliss's report right here, which says it's basically an asphyxia death. She didn't react to the chemicals, the medication, that's all ruled out. Didn't happen. She suffocated. And the only way you can suffocate, Mark, is if you did something to her. And you had to do something. You just don't stop breathing for no reason. She's, 40, 41? A 40, 41-year-old young female does just not stop breathing. You had to do something, Mark. I wasn't there, you were. You need to tell me what happened here so I can get this matter cleared up. Be honest with me, be straight with me, Mark. Be a man. Tell me what happened here. I need to know. What happened? Straight up. Tell me what happened. You're thinking about it, you want to tell me, Mark, tell me. What happened? Let's get this over with.
I'm trying to think, we were playing that morning.
You had to do something.
I thought I did.
Mark, there's no question about that. You were the only one there.
I understand.
I mean, look at the evidence that's here. I went through it kind of diligently with you.
And I can't.
Tell me, what took place?
Nothing more than what I told you.
You didn't get on top of her?
No.
Why is that bruise there on her buttocks?
I never saw her fall, but she mentioned that she hit her head and fell when she got through with that. I mean, let's see what that is. Probably it would have to have been one.
That possibly explains the bruise, but it doesn't explain why she stopped breathing. You were the only one there. Well, the evidence suggested that there was a pillow over her head. But if you recall, you saw the nose, same as I did. I got pictures of it.
Right.
Okay? You saw the nose and put a pillow over her head.
No.
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 Mark, how did she stop breathing, Mark? Be straight with me. Be honest.
When I found her,
Mark, you had to do something.
I didn't know.
How can you explain it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just a couple days. I don't
Mark,
know.
there has to be an explanation here, okay? What do you, there has to be. There has to be. And I was not there. There has to be an explanation. You were the guy there.
When I left, for all I know, she was asleep. Exactly the way I found her when I got home. Her face was in the pillow. She rolled over on the pillow. If I remember correctly, that her hand was underneath. Yeah, it just sounds, like this.
Her arm was actually here. I'll show you how she was. Okay, she's got that. Her arm is actually across her body like that. Okay? And it's an unnatural position. Do you sleep when you're on your side with your arm across like that? No. That's why I asked you if you're moving. Because her arm seems to be unnatural. The way she's positioned. Okay, her nose is crunched into the pillow. And she stopped breathing.
But her nose was crunched into the pillow.
Right.
Laying there like that.
Right, the nose, and again, if you can take a look at the photos, I'll show you. Her nose, when you bring it back up, it's bent. Like this. I mean, there was some type of force put on there. And the only person that could have been there to commit that type of force is you. I don't know why you can't be 100% with me, Mike. You're the only person that was there. You're the only person that can answer any of these questions. Because I was not there. I don't know what happened. Okay, I have a good idea. I laid my cards out on the table here for you. Okay? Well, and I called you up nicely. We've been talking every week or so, keeping in touch with this. You stopped in here today to talk to me, and I'm a little stumped here for an answer, and the only one that can answer that is you. And I'm thinking, okay, Mark seems like a decent guy. There's got to be a logical explanation for this. I mean, if maybe things got out of hand, you guys had an argument, that happened. Mark, I'll work with you through it. I'm just, but no, I'm assigned this case and I want to find out what happened. And
I can't believe.
Arthur, show me different. I've been studying this and looking at this since December 3rd. And I've tried to make every effort to eliminate you. I did as much testing as could possibly be possible. Dr. Lavin and Dr. Chambliss did. That's why it's taken so long. You've been impatient about that, I understand that. There's absolutely no way that she died from an overdose of the medication she took. We have tested everything. Now, I have, You basically had a girlfriend at this point, the one that you were seeing before Julie, okay? Kelly, okay? We already went through that, I understand, but you were seeing her before, okay? I have Julie leaving me. It's addressed to Ron Cosman or Detective Ratzenberg, okay? I'm sure she meant Ratzenberg. I have been doing this 15 years, Mark, and I've never had anybody leave me a letter telling me that if they die, it's this person that killed me, okay? And this is the first time in 15 years, and I've done a lot of death investigations. I've never had anybody do this to me to tell me that it was you, okay? That just did not happen. And how can I explain this? You're the only one that can explain what happened here, Mark, and you need to be truthful with me. You need to tell me what happened here. Did you guys get an argument? Did you get mad? Oh, I don't know. You need to be truthful with me.
What day was that?
What date was it? There's not a date on here. It was given before, this is before December 3rd she wrote this. Yeah, okay, 11/21 she wrote this. She also, how about the explanation for the stuff in your appointment book? We'll get to that in a minute. Mark, what happened? Mark, there's gotta be an explanation. You did something. I need to know what. Be truthful with me, Mark. You had it nothing. Then how did she stop breathing, Mark?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
She didn't stop breathing by herself. It doesn't happen that way.